In the ideal world, we would never come across people who intend to hurt us. Unfortunately, we live in a fallen world that is full of broken people, and so pain and hurt are destined to come to each of us. Sin is abundant, and thus, toxic and abusive relationships are formed. Christians are not immune to finding themselves trapped in this situation, so occasionally, we get wound up in these unhealthy relationships and circles of behaviors. And as a result of this, a lot of people find themselves struggling to fulfill purpose. Lives are being torn apart and destinies are being burnt down. And simple, but not easy, is the fact that a lot of our relationships today needs to come to the realization of what a toxic relationship is. Hey guys, welcome to episode 3 of the 365 pod. It's really been a while, a lot of things to look into, a lot of projects to handle, and I know it's been same for you guys, so let me not bore you with my activities, but I just want to take out a second to say a very big thank you to as many as those that reached out to me. Shout out to you, Victor Paul, my biggest fan. God bless you so much. I can't thank you enough for all that you've been doing, how you've been supporting me. I mean, it's been massive. Thank you so much. Shout out to you, Ogar David. Thank you for always wanting to know how it's all going. Thank you, Franca Okai, for your massive support. I love you guys. Thank you so much, every one of you that checked up. God bless you. So it's another month, guys, and we have decided to do part 1 today of a new series titled Toxic Relationship, as you can see. So guys, remember how that in our last episode we talked about dating in college? For some of you who have listened to it, talked about dating in college and how that, you might just want to look out for some things, check some boxes like being mentally and emotionally ready, balancing your academics with your relationship and the likes, your intentions also, and also the God factor. Now the question is, what if this person checks most of all these boxes, and still the relationship isn't still fulfilling as it's supposed to be? Your partner can master the art of balancing well and still be toxic. Yes, your partner can be emotionally ready or mentally ready to be in a relationship and still be toxic. Your partner might even have good intentions, so this control has claimed to be for you, and still be toxic. All right, even Christians can still be toxic. So you could take this episode or this series as something that you might want to look out for, okay? And to my young fans out there who aren't in a relationship yet but looking into getting into one, you could also take out the series as something that you just might need, okay? If you ever get into a situation as this. Alright, so guys, let's dive in. Now, we all have had toxic people who dust us with their poison, and sometimes it's more like a drenching. Difficult people are drawn to reasonable ones, and all of us have likely had or have at least one person in our lives who have us bending around ourselves like barbed wire in endless attempt to please them, only to never really get there, And dealing with these individuals can be difficult and draining, so to say. In fact, it may even challenge what you know about yourself and push you to the limits. And that is what a toxic relationship is. It's one that just contaminates your self-esteem, your happiness, and the way you see yourself and the world at large. But now, being able to spot their harmful behavior is the first step, to minimizing their impact. You might not be able to change what they do, but you can as well change what you do with it. Being aware that the relationship is toxic is vital in protecting yourself from breakage. To stay in a toxic relationship is to keep your hand hovering over the self-destruct button. And also, not all toxic relationships are easy to leave actually. But, being aware of the signs will make it easier to claim back your power and draw a bold, heavy line around what's allowed into your life and what to get closed out. And that is why in this series we've decided to pick out, say, 5 out of the many behavioral patterns that describe a toxic relationship. Now, the first set of guys are the ones I call the controllers. Oh, the controllers. These guys, this set of people they're powerful. I mean, they claim to be. So let's just give it to them. Let's call them powerful people. These are the ones that tell you what or what not to do, what or what not to wear, what or what not to eat. These people are breathtaking and practically in charge and in control of all you do. And trust me, you don't want to be at the receiving end. And the trick behind all of this is that these guys make it look like they care. I mean, controlling guys, I feel like from their end, they actually do care. Because what's the reason why you just want to be involved in everything that person does? I don't know. There might be so many reasons out there. But why would you want to always be the one to make the decisions for them? Why do you feel like they can't do it themselves? Why are you scared that those people are going to, at the end of the day, harm themselves or something? So part of the reasons, this is not all the reason. There are so many out there, depending, that's their, I don't know what they have in their head, but it could also be that these guys think that they care and they make it look like doing anything outside their will is going to be overly harmful to you. Can you imagine? These are also the set of guys that will use non-toxic words with toxic tones. So their message might be innocent enough, but the tone of the message conveys so much more. For example, it could be something like, "What did you do today?" Now, what did you do today can mean different things, depending on the way it was said. It could mean something like, "So I bet you did nothing today as usual." Or it could mean, "I'm sure your day was better than mine. Mine was just so awful and you didn't even notice enough to ask." Now, when these guys do this kind of thing, they make you want to question their tone. And when you try to question their tone, they'll come back with, "All I said was, what did you do today?" And which is true, that's all they said. That's all they really said. But was that all that they were really, expecting from you? And this is not to say that you should be, overly sensitive to everything and anything that is thrown at you. But it's also important to be aware of people who try to play with and control your mind and make it look like they are doing nothing. The modus operandi of these controllers include gaining total control of a situation, and that includes you. As long as you're involved in that thing, they are always going to be there. They will demand your undivided attention and attempt to convince you that you need to join their camp. I don't know if you guys have had, or you have this friend that anything you do outside them, it seems like you are not loyal to them. If they are here, you need to be there with them. If they are there, you need to be there with them. If they say no, you need to say no with them. Just controlling people. But whenever you get to do, or whenever you try to do anything that looks like it's the opposite of what they are doing, they begin to feel bad. They begin to feel like you're a bad person or you're a bad friend. You're not being supportive and all of those. And man, it can be tiring. To their own way of thinking, these guys think that they know better than you. Of course, they are always right and you are always wrong. You are always wrong. At all times, you are always wrong. And so you need to always do what they say. And these things also happen in relationships too. So this set of persons will think nothing of invading your space. They don't care. But actually from their own end, they care. you understand. And they might even try to isolate you from others. that you are close to. And truth be told, what makes these controlling people so manipulative and at times overbearing are their underlying insecurities and self-doubts. So whether or not the controller realizes it, they are obsessed by the threat that the person they so much need to feel securely attached to could, walk out on them at any time. So this set of people are usually notorious for the feeling of jealousy. Which explains their possessive and habit of interrogation, because these guys, they would constantly check up on their partner and perform continuing surveillance on them. They would ask or insist on knowing with whom they are emailing or texting. They'll spy on the partner's phones and social media messages. They can even react violently to anything. Now, the key word there, violently. Because there is every tendency for you as a controller, or for your controller guy, or for your most of the times the guys, okay, there's every tendency that they would want to hit, because by the time you are telling your partner to go left and he or she is going right, or you're telling them it's a yes and for them it's a no, or you say they should go up and they want to go down, by the time this thing keep on occurring and occurring, there is every tendency that you'd get mad and you'd want to hit them or be violent to them. And these are the things that we need to look into. These are the things that we need to watch out, for. So there's every tendency that they'll be violent to anything that seems suspicious to them, or even the man that their partner informs them at all times of their whereabouts. I'm like, are we doing a parent and a child's relationship here? Or even it's not even totally right for your parents to want to control like every single thing that you do. You ought to get to that stage where you should make decisions for yourself and the rest. So okay, preferably this is not a mother and a baby's relationship. The mother is in charge because the baby he or she is not grown yet to know what and what not to do. This is a grown relationship here. So this kind of people won't even and can't respect their partner's privacy. Like, it's not possible, because any life their partner has apart from theirs provokes their anxiety. And now the thing is that few months into the relationship, especially for the ladies now, few months into the relationship, it's going to look like it's fine and you're just being a good partner by respecting them. Most times we ladies, we want to be respectful. We want to, my boyfriend said I shouldn't do this. My boyfriend said I shouldn't see you. He said I shouldn't go here. He said I shouldn't go there. He said he doesn't like this kind of food, that I shouldn't eat it again and everything. So you just want to be that sweet girl. You just want to be that obedient partner. We love peace. We want peace to be in the relationship and everything. We don't want to quarrel. We want to just, because the relationship of course just started and everything is at its peak. But little do you know that it's only going to get worse, because these toxic individuals will become more and more suspicious and controlling as time goes on. They'll check on the readings of your car if you have any. They'll make sure that you haven't gone somewhere that you shouldn't, or they think that you shouldn't go to. They would interrogate you if you stay late at a friend's place, and over time they could even work hard to eliminate any meaningful relationship that you have with your friends. That's because they always want to have you, in their view. How hard can it get? And sometimes they could even eliminate that you have with your family. They actually do not see themselves in a relationship with you. They think they do, but they don't. So they actually do not see themselves in a relationship with you. They see themselves as possessing you. Now, if your partner is constantly trying to control your every move, and you've probably tried to settle it out or maybe dialogue it, with them, and he or she doesn't seem to see anything wrong with that, please guys, run. As in run, like run, like flee. There's a way you run and your legs will be touching the back of your head. Yes, that kind of race. Please run. Don't get me wrong here. I know some persons might care so much that they would always want to have a say in everything that your partner does, and it's fine. It's okay. But guys, you would agree with me that there's a limit to everything. I mean, this is common sense here. No one needs to be told what to do or when to do it, except if, of course, you are dating a toddler, as in like a baby. I don't know how best to describe this. The right person will never put you on a leash. So if you're with someone who tries to control your every move, there's just no point in staying around if they do not agree that this is what they are trying to do. And that is if you already recognize that you're being controlled. Okay, there's just no point in staying, because this set of persons will always have something to say about what you do, what you wear, the places you go to, the food you eat, and everything. I mean, you see, there's a difference between trying to set things right, okay, and trying to dictate things. It's okay not to feel good about the friends your partner hang out with if they are the wrong type of friends. It's okay not to feel good about the places, the whatever it is that your partner involves in, if they are the wrong kind of things, okay, that are harmful to them, that are of no benefit, or should we say negative benefit or something. Now that's you being caring. But aside this, it's totally out of place to always want to dictate and be in control just because it doesn't suit you. And sometimes, even if what they are doing, you have already seen that it's harmful or it's not good for them. Please, I mean, after speaking with them or after trying to, bring it to their notice and they do not see it that way, then it's fine. You don't have to be all controlling or something. If you're listening to me right now and you happen to be part of those drinking from this toxic tonic with the hope that maybe things are going to get better, or it's going to heal you or make you whole, or probably it wouldn't be like this forever, and all those things that you're thinking sometimes because of how much you've invested into that relationship, it can be hard. Yes, it can be. But let me tell you what this is going to do to you. In no time, you would not recognize yourself anymore, because you must have willed your power of self-control over to them. So you're simply going to be existing and not living. I mean, every day brings another challenge. So their attempt to control your behavior is an attempt to control your happiness. You lose the freedom to speak your mind. What's that again? That's freedom of speech, right? Yeah, that's freedom of speech. You're gonna lose that because you would always have to put on a different face just to be accepted by that person. This would definitely, of course, lead to a damage in your self-control and the will to live. Not to also forget difficulty in taking actions. You are so going to be unable to reach out to the world, and just so you know, it doesn't stop there. Spiritually wise, in a relationship where you are not at liberty to express yourself, I mean, how can you obey God? If you are always being controlled to the point where you always need to seek permission and approval for every single thing that you do, then the question is, what role would God have to play in your own life? Remember that it's not God's desire for man to be controlled, and that is why He gave each and every one of us free will to choose, So being controlled by a fellow man is equivalent to being in bondage. And we all know what God's view about bondage is. If you're a controller or probably just recognize yourself as one, then your first step should be to a good counselor. I mean, your injuries, your wounds from the past are too extensive not to seek the help of a recommended professional. Preferably one who is a Christian. You need to seek God and surround yourself with godly and safe people, because you don't expect to surround yourself with lots of controllers like you, and still want to be different. Please respect the right of your partner to associate with whomever they like. If you believe a relationship is bad for them, then explain why, but allow them the final decisions as to whether to continue or not, and try to ask about their communication with others out of a genuine interest and because you want to share your life with them. Please allow them the space to act autonomously, that is to get together with family and friends and as they see fit, or to engage in whatever activities that are fulfilling to them. And if they are doing so worries you or makes you jealous, then that is your issue, not theirs. So stop trying to establish rules that your partner must follow if they are to maintain your love. Again, it's okay to state your preference and your priorities, but it must also be okay for them to state theirs and also abide by their own. Remember, compromise is key in any committed relationship. And if you are a victim here, or you're the one at the receiving end, please don't be afraid to stand up for yourself. Scripture says, "For the Lord hasn't given you the spirit of timidity nor fear, but of power, love, self-discipline, of sound mind, of boldness." Remember that if you fail to set limits on their attempt to dominate you, you may not lose your partner, but you would almost certainly lose yourself. So do not let someone else direct what you do or say or tell you what to do, what you should give up on. There is a limit to all of that. And to my young guys out there, at this early stage of your life, God wants you to solely yield to Him. He wants to be the only one who should have a final say in your life. He wants to be the one who directs your every step and move. He wants to be the one who would help you fulfill purpose. Guys, He still has a lot of things He wants to do with and for you before He probably hands you over to someone else, with the mind that you're not going to control each other. So why risk it? Why risk it? So I'll conclude with this, guys. No is an important word in any kind of relationship. Healthy relationships need compromise, but they also respect the needs and wants of both people. Communicating what you want is as important for you and the relationship as communicating what you don't want. So guys, find your no, give it a polish, and know where the release button is, because a loving partner will respect that you are not going to agree with everything they say or do. And if you're only accepted when you're saying yes, then maybe it's probably time to say no to that relationship and say yes to freedom, to a better life, to growth, and of course to God. For where the Spirit of God is, there is freedom and fullness of joy. And there you have it, guys. Another episode on the spot. On our next release, we're going to be looking at the second set of guys, and you don't want to miss it. So stay tuned and don't forget that you can listen to this pod on all of your favorite podcasts like Google Podcasts, Breaker, Pocket, Spotify, and lots more. So as always, thank you guys for listening and for sharing, for subscribing, and of course, I hope this would be of great help to as many out there that are in a situation like this. And if you probably know a friend who knows a friend who in turn knows another friend that is in a situation like this, and you are comfortable with sharing this episode with them, please do, and let's keep touching lives. Signing out, guys. Peace.